that you had to do to really get this going?
Well, I think that in order to kind of take an idea to become a reality, you just have to be incredibly, incredibly passionate about it and do all the research that you possibly can to understand competitors in the market and to understand, you know, the entire marketplace as a whole. But then at some point, you just kind of have to dive in and just take the plunge and decide, you know what, I think this is a good idea. I'm going to give it a try. And by the way, it's never going to replace the backyard with the baseball and the bat, and it doesn't. We don't want it to. It's a complement to that, and so we're excited about that.
Well, that's a good message to get out there. So tell me a little bit about trial and error. What are some of the things you look back on now and think, oh, I was so naive. If I had only known then what I know now about starting a business. Any stories like that?
Stroller check. Oh, did we blow that? The first you know, opening in New York, you know, 5 years ago, and we were going to fold the strollers, but you know, they don't fold anymore, especially not the Bugaboos. So you know, we always say we have the most, you know, per square foot highest rental stroller check areas in America because we just leave them pushed out and in, you know, nice neat rows so you can get to them, and we don't fold them. It's all about speed and
there was
access.
Strollers lining 84th Street in Manhattan, but it's better now. So
yes,
that was
much better.
That was kind of a very practical faux pas. So.
And tell me a little bit, I read online a little bit about some of the early investors that you sought out. Andre Agassi. How do you go up to Andre Agassi and say, man, do I have an idea for you?
We actually had friends in common, and in knowing our common friend, we learned that he also had young kids and was very family-minded and liked to do things with families in mind.
And I bet already had a tennis court in his backyard.
Yeah.
So had
Andre has 2 young kids. Right. You know, we were focused on people who wanted to do something great for kids. Andre had 2 young kids and wanted a connection with New York. We have the Tisch family, who we always call the first family in New York. They own the New York Giants, and they're very philanthropic.
And that other network, CBS News.
Yes, and the Stern family, where I went to, you know, NYU Business School is the Stern School. So to have like people who really cared about children in New York, that's what we're looking for, and children, you know, and wanted to have a great business for people and also a profitable business, but a great business as well.
So when you talk to the kids and you hear from the kids, what are some of the funnier business?
Well, that's the best. I mean, we always say that you can't fake it. You know, kids are kids, and they're going to tell you the truth all the time. And so the best feedback you can possibly get is from the kids. So when you walk into an art class and you see kids knee deep in paint and all these fun things from my Big Messy Art class, which is one of the programs that we run, it's kind of tried and true. You know, you can't fake it, and you can't make it up.
And to hear kids say, you know, that they want to, you know, you're walking down the street and you hear kids saying, they want to go to Kidville, and you know, it's just it makes you just smile. Makes you just smile.
And what do you say to parents who may not have access to a Kidville? They may not live in the Rockville area. Washington, our viewing area is so large, or they may not have the financial means. These classes do cost money. What do you suggest to them to take from the Kidville experience and do themselves with their kids?
Well, even in our program guide, in there, we always have a project that you can do at home, and we give instructions on, like Natalie O'Wright, who's our head of early childhood development, about a project that you can do at home. So we think of all people. You know, we think we're inclusive. We think that people like to come to you. We hope that most people can, and if they can't, also we give sorts of things that you could do at home as well.
And what have you learned? You all really do teach such an array of things, languages, I think, and I love one of the classes being offered in New York now. Your chef at Kidville is teaching a cooking class where the kids are making
and plastic plates,
but making meals, meals.
And those recipes are also in the program guide that gets sent out. And I think another message would be to any time that you kind of devote 45 minutes to your child to do something that's kind of fun and maybe a little out of the ordinary is time well spent.
And we give free classes to like just about every charity that asks us, or every church or synagogue or school. We give free classes to them to give away for their
raffles
purposes, and
auctions.
so we've been able to get to maybe some additional people that weren't maybe able not to come otherwise.
Right. And so how did you pick Rockville after you branched out from New York? Because you could have stayed in New York, but you decided to keep branching out, keep it getting bigger, and Rockville got to be one of the first sites.
I actually, so I have some family in the Maryland area, so I've been coming here kind of my whole life, and then...
And our systems group is based here, and it was a way to get reacquainted. Of course, you know, there's like 30 cozies in the market, so we knew the area well, and when we landed the old Tower Records, and you know, in Rockville, it was like a dream come true. It's just a fabulous site, and we're just really excited to be here.
So take me to the day after People magazine comes out. This is when I called a friend of mine who knew about Kidville, and I said, oh, this thing is going to take off. Brad Pitt walking out of Kidville in New York with one of the Brangelina children. Did business take off even more? And did a lot of mothers come wearing makeup the next day?
We're not, we're kind of tried to, as best we can, be pretty on the down low
Yeah, we don't
about
really,
people who frequent the place, but those pictures were fun. It was fun for
So it may
everyone
or
who
may
works
not
at
have been a
Kidville
coincidence
to
that Brad Pitt was
see.
walking out of the door that led inside to Kidville with a child in tow.
Well, they had the whole family there actually, and Angelina was there too. I mean, it's great that they want to be at Kidville, and obviously it's not confidential anymore because the whole world knows because everybody covered it. But they're actually great, and they love their kids, and we had a real great time with them.
Well, there you go. Well, we're excited to see the new Rockville facility, and moms are just excited to have one more thing to do with their kids. So thank you both for joining us.
Thank you
And
very
we'll have
much.
much more on News Talk.